Our flag means
Toffee!
Hello! Hi! Welcome to another episode of Tea and Toffees, a twice monthly podcast. I'm your host, Nightshade.
And hi, I'm Cecilia.
You will never be the host, I'm sorry.
No, never.
What could have been? How do you like the new outfit I made you?
I really like it. I have a boob window, I have a necklace, I have nice earrings, I have a hat that looks really nice. It's not as long, like I really like the sleeves, you know?
Yes.
They're really nice. Look at these sleeves.
I made them. Of course, it's awesome.
I have nice frills. Yes, I like it.
I really love the hat I made you. I mean, that was the first thing I made. I made the hat and then I was like, okay, based on this, give me something you want. What do you want? So I designed it for you.
Yes.
'Cause I'm nice
Thank you.
that. Occasionally I'm nice like that.
Yes.
All right. Today, we're not here to talk about outfits, though.
No.
Although, look at it. Marvel at Cecilia's new outfit.
Yes, marvel at it.
Anyway. Today we're here to talk about a historical gay pirate rom-com.
Historical gay pirate rom-com?
It is called Our Flag Means Death.
Ooh.
It is a historical gay pirate rom-com. That's both historically incredibly inaccurate, like leather, really. And also incredibly accurate at some points, surprisingly. The weapons and injuries, for example.
You know, I don't mind the leather. Even if it's historically inaccurate, the leather looks good.
I like fancy historical outfits, you know. Okay, I suppose pirates wouldn't have worn them except for Steed, but
That's what we have Steed for.
and I can see why they chose leather, but I prefer Ed in the other outfits he wears.
Okay.
Sadly, Our Flag Means Death was cancelled after only 2 seasons. I believe season 3 would have been the final one, so that's even worse.
Sad.
But yeah, it's such a chaotic show. Pure chaos. Lots of swearing. Most unpredictable chaos.
I don't think I will have much to say this episode.
No surprise there.
No surprise there. I mean, it was an entertaining show. I just don't have many deep thoughts on it, you know? So this episode will mostly be Nightshade talking.
Still no surprise there.
And educating me and our dear audience about the historical background this show took inspiration from. Like Blackbeard, the Chinese pirate queen, and the Republic of Pirates. Now, the only question is, will Nightshade manage to limit themselves to only 1 hour of talking so that it doesn't accidentally become 2 episodes or a nightmare to edit because of the episode length?
Good question. Remains to be seen.
And so we will see.
It's not my fault if I have to say so much. But hey, I don't have source material like comics or books this time, so that's something. That's something.
It limits you a bit.
Yeah, so Cecilia wants to be educated on the historical background. I'm here to deliver. I want to talk about plot-related things and also diversity, and I suppose we might have some odds and ends later, or not. We'll see. So, let's go. Historical figures. How about it?
Well, it's 1717.
1717.
1717. It's over 3 centuries ago. Such a long time.
Yep. The main problem in all of this is, of course, the lack of verifiable and reliable sources, or just lack of sources overall.
I mean, how many pirates could actually write? Not many.
That is part of the issue, but not the whole issue. Another part is, of course, that the government doesn't like pirates.
And we know who writes history.
We know exactly who's the one writing history. It's fine for shows that are clearly not meant to be accurate anyway. I mean, just look at Blackbeard's biker leathers again. And Our Flag Means Death is first and foremost a rom-com. Real pirates do not live rom-com. They didn't live through rom-coms. They were probably gay, though. Maybe it's possible. We wouldn't know. I'm going to talk about them, but I don't want to talk too much about the original historical figures because most of them were scum.
Villains?
Yes. in the literal sense of the words, yes, scum villains.
Scum villains.
Not, of course, in the sense of what we're actually thinking about.
Yes.
But yeah, the Chinese pirate queen did exist, even if it wasn't during Blackbeard's era, and Bonnie and Mary Read were rumored to be in a relationship, perhaps even a throuple with Calico Jack. I put reference pictures here for everyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Calico Jack appeared in season 1, and Bonnie and Mary Read appeared in season 2 of the show. They didn't have anything to do with each other in the show, though. But yeah, I think Calico Jack was married to one of them, and they were all, and we know the girls were probably in a relationship, but there could have been a couple together. It's complicated. We're not quite sure, but it was very interesting. Blackbeard and the Gentleman Pirate have history with each other, but probably not like the show portrays. We can't exactly be sure. Again, lack of sources. We do have one of the most detailed and one of the best or only sources we have is actually from Stede Bonnet's trial, but I'll get to that in a few minutes, so it's to be taken with a grain of salt. Okay, so yeah, Bonnet, Blackbeard, and co. Let's start with these. We are, of course, in the golden age of piracy. Pirates roaming mostly the Caribbean seas, actually. Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate, was indeed a wealthy man who one day just bought a ship, left his wife, and became a pirate. No one knows why. Talk about having a midlife crisis. He owned a plantation, by the way, so he was a slave owner.
Touchy subject.
He obviously had no idea what he was doing. Unlike other pirates, he also had no real motivation to be a pirate against the government, which was the main reason people became pirates, to say fuck you to the government. Oh, by the way, should I? Considering what kind of show we're talking about, does it even make sense to censor myself on this one?
Not really.
Not really. Oh well. I've already gotten used to not swearing so much.
Oh no.
Unlike other pirates, Stede legally purchased his ship, the Revenge, and then he hired a crew. And they were not that unsuccessful because the crew actually knew what it was doing. And then they met Blackbeard. Edward Teach, sometimes called Edward Thatch, aka Blackbeard, was one of the most infamous pirates ever, known for his unpredictable cruelty, which had the advantage of most people surrendering before he even had to do anything.
That is very convenient.
The show also captured this a bit, in a way, yes. Side note, man, this Blackbeard is handsome. I do miss the beard in season 2, but as long as the long salt and pepper hair stays, I'm down. I want to eat him. Let me eat him. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Like, look at this. Eating. Look at this handsome. The actor is just, yes.
I don't agree with the eating part, but I do agree that he is very handsome.
Would you agree with the eating part in a metaphorical way?
Yes.
Okay. Me literal, you metaphorical. Good team we make.
Yes.
So the two, Stede Bonnet and Blackbeard, joined forces in a way. It's more like Blackbeard seized control over Bonnet's ship, because Stede Bonnet had, as established, no idea what he was doing. And then Stede was essentially a guest and prisoner alike on Blackbeard's ship for some time. I think he was also wounded when they met. I'm not quite sure anymore. I forgot. It's not important. Someone else commandeered his Revenge instead. He was on Blackbeard's ship. There are speculations about their relationship, or at least there is speculation about Bonnet's sexuality. But we do not have any proof either way. We don't know. But they sailed together for quite some time doing pirate stuff together, so yeah. Until one day, Blackbeard abandoned Stede's ship and marooned some of the crew, and then Stede Bonnet picked up his ship and his men and became a pirate captain once more in his own right. There's more to that in a moment. There's a reason Blackbeard did that, actually. It didn't seem so at first glance, but historically, apparently historians have found out what actually went down. I wonder how they did it.
No clue. Magic, perhaps.
Yeah, Stede never managed to get revenge on Blackbeard. He was eventually captured by the government, hanged after a very lengthy trial where he tried to blame everything on his crew and Blackbeard. I mentioned this, it's quite an interesting documentation. One of the very few sources we do have, but it's very biased, obviously. Right? Because
Yes, obviously.
Steve tried to blame everything on the other people. He still got hanged in the end.
Aye.
By the time Steve Bonnet was executed, Blackbeard had already managed to get himself killed in battle, so there's that.
Ah.
And the golden age of piracy ended around the time Steve Bonnet and Blackbeard died.
So, did the Golden Age die with them?
In a way, you could say that. I mean, Blackbeard was one of the most famous ones of the era, and he's dead now, and Steve's dead now, and lots of other pirates were dead now, and the pardons were handed out left and right, so that happened.
Yeah.
Someone else in that context, Israel Izzy Hans, also known as Basilica Hans, is most famous for being randomly shot in the knee by Blackbeard. It was either to establish authority or because Blackbeard missed the intended target. But either way, the injury ultimately saved Izzy's life because he was absent from the battle that killed Blackbeard. There's also speculations that Blackbeard actually shot him on purpose to prevent him from joining that battle because he knew they were gonna get killed probably or something. We don't know. We're not quite clear.
Speculation.
Either way, he got randomly shot in the knee by Blackbeard.
Poor guy.
Sources are also divided about his position under Blackbeard. He might have been the first mate or the sailing master or something else. We're not quite sure. Izzy was Hans, yes.
Yes, Izzy was Hans.
Was commander of the Adventure for a while, one of Blackbeard's ships. At one point, Blackbeard decided his fleet had grown too large for him to handle, so he accidentally ran his flagship aground, then asked Izzy to help him, which resulted in the Adventure being grounded too.
Oh,
then he
Blackbeard.
took Izzy, Bonnet at the time, and some others, marooned the rest, and then after that he abandoned Steve Bonnet's ship and the crew as well. So that's how that came to be. That's why he... So there you have it. Any questions?
Spanish Jackie.
She is, to my knowledge, somewhat based on a real pirate, but I can neither pronounce that name, put it on screen, nor do I know much about her. I think she was a little bit before Steedinet's time, actually. But great character. More questions?
Yeah, great character. Well, obviously a Chinese pirate queen.
Yes. Zheng Yi Sao. I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation too badly. It's on screen. Chinese is hard. I'm sorry.
Chinese is hard, yes.
Well, this basically means wife of Zheng Yi. That's a pirate she married. And whose pirate confederation she took over. She was a prostitute before that. It's likely that she managed to seduce him somewhere. She had planned it to marry... don't ask me. We don't know. But she was a crafty woman. But yeah, she married a pirate. And his confederation is the one she took over later after his death. She had other names, of course, but my Chinese is not the best, and you can look those up online. Also, some of her names are questionable in whether they really were her names, and also the transcriptions vary between some of these. So it's like, is this just a different transcription of her name, or is it actually a different version of her name? We don't know. It's the internet hasn't really been updated on her names. Let's put it like that. Because people are ignorant of Chinese. Sadly.
Sad.
She came along a long time after the Golden Age. She came along after the Golden Age of pirates. The fleet she unofficially commanded was enormous, and she was the most successful pirate in all of history. Greatest to ever live. Blackbeard Rue? We don't know him. Chinese pirate queen it is.
Chinese pirate queen all the way.
Her first husband had gathered about 6 fleets of about 600 ships and 40,000 men under his command around the time they married. Or around his death, I'm not quite sure. But around the time they married, and he had been terrorizing the South China Sea. Well, his wife supported him, obviously. When he died, we don't quite know whether it was on purpose or not, whether he was murdered or whether he just fell off his ship during a storm. We have no idea. He died.
He died.
His wife took over with the help of her and her late husband's adopted son and lover. Yes, the husband's lover. Political reasons. It's like her husband kidnapped this child from some fisherman and adopted him as his son, but that was also his lover. Might have been his wife's lover as well, we're not quite sure. Anyway, so she entered a relationship with her husband's son and lover for authority reasons, to make sure that everyone would respect her decisions and all that. It's a bit complicated, you know? Anyway, she used that to her advantage. Yeah, if it works, it works. They got married after their pardon, so apparently love blossomed between them, I guess.
I suppose.
But yeah, she ended a relationship with him so she could take over legitimately.
So they both, like the parents adopted the son, and then the son was first the lover of the husband.
Just her husband. Her husband adopted that dude. Her husband kidnapped a fisherman's son, but also was in a relationship with his adopted son, and then she went into a relationship with her husband's adopted son and lover.
Ah, lovely.
Perfectly normal. Trust me, it's perfectly normal. Our queen was famous for establishing a pirate code that kept her men in line under threat of death. One of those codes was about protecting captured women from sexual assault. Another rule ensured a fair division of looted treasure. She had excellent managing and negotiating skills, was respected among the Confederation, and her fleet was never defeated.
Well, nice. Very nice for a very, very respectable woman.
The Caribbean pirates also had a code, but I think I have a note on that later. Anyway, but yeah, she did it better. She did it better.
Very impressive.
Her confederation reached a size of about 1,000 ships, probably more, with over 70,000 pirates, men and women alike, as the largest pirate fleet in history. For comparison, Blackbeard, infamous Blackbeard, his fleet peaked at about half a dozen ships and a few hundred men, and Blackbeard himself found that too big to handle.
That is quite the difference.
Yes, it is indeed quite the difference. She only laid her life as a pirate to rest to accept a pardon later on, because the Chinese government did what I think English and Spanish governments did with the Caribbean. They started giving out pardons to get rid of the pirate problem. So the Confederation was beginning to slowly fall apart, and she saw that, so she knew a lost cause when she saw it, right?
Yeah, and then she was like, "What? I'm out of here."
Yeah, what she did was she sailed her fleet right to into the harbor where the authorities were. She demanded a pardon and got it, and it was completely in her favor.
Wow.
Her lover was also granted pardon. He became a government official. That's how good that pardon was.
That is... Wow.
Yeah. Unlike most pirates, she was not executed. She lived a relatively long, peaceful life. Back for the times, you know. She was like in her 60s or something when she died, but for the times, long, peaceful life. After retiring from the life of piracy. She was, as I said, wife of the government official because they married after they both got pardoned. Yeah. Adopted son / late husband's lover. Yeah. She owned a gambling den that might have been hiding a smuggling business, probably opium. She lived a nice life. Very impressive woman.
She led a very impressive life. It's she definitely had balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's the best, most impressive pirate ever.
Agreed. So, do I ask how you know all of this? Because you know quite a lot.
Well, pirates. And everyone knows Blackbeard and the Chinese pirate queen, right?
I mean, I know Blackbeard existed. I think I knew at some point that there was a Chinese pirate queen, but I forgot again. I never knew about a gentleman pirate. So, my knowledge about pirates is like limited.
Yeah, so what I did for this episode basically was just fact-checking what I remembered from doing... I did research years and years ago when One Piece got me interested in. Because lots and lots of One Piece characters got their names and personalities loosely based on real pirates. For example, Bellamy, Blackbeard, Kid, Bonnie, just a few of the more obvious examples. So I got interested and I looked up the connections and then went from there and did a lot of research. I just fact-checked it, basically.
Well, I should have guessed. One Piece. Is the One Piece real?
Yes. We got confirmation of that in the manga and anime.
Is it the friends we made along the way?
No, it's not.
I'm glad for that.
And by the way, the final antagonist from season 2, Prince, what's his name? He reminds me of a One Piece character. Here, I gave you pictures for reference.
Well, yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, the purple nose and all that. I tried looking them up, but I couldn't find any real-life connection. Maybe someone knows. Please comment if you do, if there's a connection there.
Please do.
Anyway, so Pirates of the Caribbean, another famous pirate fantasy thingy.
Yes, I've watched that.
Also takes a lot of inspiration from real life. There's a pirate lord based on the Chinese pirate queen. And Blackbeard makes an appearance, but most characters are amalgamations of multiple historical people. So yeah, I'd done the research before, independently from this episode, ages ago, and fact-checked it, and I added more details here and there. Also means Pirates of the Caribbean just flew out the window as a potential episode, because then I'd have to repeat myself quite a lot. Unless you don't want to hear about the Republic of Pirates, Cecilia.
But I do want to hear about the Republic of Pirates.
Yeah, so I prepared stuff for the Republic of Dirty Drunk Pirates. I've mentioned the Confederation, the Chinese pirate queen led. Something similar existed in the Caribbean seas. They called themselves the Flying Gang. They were more loose, not really that much connected, and not at all ruled by an iron fist of one powerful person. The foremost leaders were Hornigold and Jennings. You might not know them, but they were actually pretty infamous at the time.
I don't know them.
I don't know why. Media doesn't really pay attention to them, but they were pretty infamous. Also rivals. Hornigold was mentor to Blackbeard, Bellamy, and Bonnet, and Jennings was mentor to Calico Jack, among others. During the golden age of piracy, there were some so-called pirate havens, which were ports and harbors where the local government could not or would not do anything to the pirates, so safe spaces. Two such havens were Tortuga and Port Royal. Probably names you might recognize.
Yes, I recognize them from Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean?
Yes, both are featured in Pirates of the Caribbean. Both were... They had become unsafe for pirates by the time the Republic of Pirates was established in Nassau, in the Bahamas, also located in the Caribbean Sea. For those who, like me, are not really all that geographically savvy, I was like, Bahamas, is that part of the... Yes, it's part of the Caribbean Sea. But yeah, Nassau. That was the new pirate haven, because the others hadn't been safe. They weren't safe anymore for the pirates, so new one, Nassau. Similar to the Confederation of the Chinese Pirates, the Republic of Pirates also had a code to ensure coexistence between several captains and their crews. Made things more or less democratic, actually. There's a reason lots of slaves joined the pirate crews, because they... democracy, you know? Kind of.
Yes.
All fell apart when the King's Pardon became a thing, similar to the end of the Chinese Pirate Queens Federation.
Well, then pardons. So, they were doing good, and then pardons came along, and then it fell apart. But I suppose good that less pirates around.
Yeah, pirates weren't good people.
Yes.
They were not good people, no matter what you want to believe.
So I suppose it's good that the pardons were handed out. You introduced this section with a, Republic of Dirty Drunk Pirates.
So I did.
Did pirates really drink themselves silly all the time and not care about personal hygiene?
They probably did care about the hygiene, but it's complicated. Proper hygiene was A, not as much of a thing in the 17th, 18th century, and B, quite hard to maintain on ships, and C, even harder to maintain on a pirate ship.
Yeah. Even the aristocracy wore wigs all the time, and just why would they bathe? They will put layers of white powder on their faces.
Yes.
And then at a ship, proper hygiene, hard.
Aristocrats and Navy did that. Pirates didn't do that, but I mean, people weren't really. I don't know what they were thinking back then. That's not a part of history that I've looked into, ever. I'm sure there were reasons for that, but the times. So yeah, it's a ship. It's always damp. There's harsh weather. You're all in close quarters. Resources are limited. They tried, I guess. They had these chewing sticks for their teeth, like a precursor for the toothbrush. They used the ocean water to try and get clean, but salt water, you know.
Yeah.
You can't get clean water at sea. Dehydration was a common issue. Alcohol keeps longer than water, so it was either added to the water or they just drank rum from the start. So yeah, pirates were all alcoholics. And that was not even out of necessity most of the time. It's just, it made things certainly easier because you can store alcohol better on a ship than water. Additionally, rum was available to be stolen in larger quantities because the rum trade was a big thing in the area. Rum is made from sugar canes, and sugar canes grow very well on the Caribbean islands. Food, similar issue here, because no freezers and ships were, like I said, damp all the time. So lots of salted and pickled stuff, barely anything fresh when you're at sea for too long. No time for fishing, by the way. They didn't have time for that. Proper nutrition was hard in general. I mean, you've probably heard of scurvy. Your teeth fall out, your gum starts to rot because of a lack of vitamin C.
Oranges. Or tangerines.
You can't all have an army growing them on ship.
Yeah, true.
Also, the life of a pirate means your tangerines are in danger.
My poor tangerines.
Your tangerine trees are in a lot of danger there. I'm not quite sure how you would grow tangerine trees on a ship. Anyway, but yeah. Additionally, also related to hygiene, wounds. Some pirate crews had ship surgeons, but not all of them. And the environment was not really good for treatment.
No.
Amputations were quite common because wounds would get infected. We see that in the show. It's surprisingly accurate. But yeah, any more questions, or are you just going to sit there and look pretty?
I'm going to sit here and look pretty.
Sure.
People can look at my new outfit.
Sure. You're going to sit there and look pretty, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, plot-related things. My notes get a bit chaotic here, but not nearly as chaotic as the show, so I'd say it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's gonna be fine.
Season 1 is really well written. They introduce us to the characters in their fun little pirate comedy. Then we get Blackbeard aboard. Blackbeard and Steed slowly develop the relationship. Or the writers develop the relationship, you could say, between them, while never forgetting to let side characters shine on their own as well. And Steed and Ed might be the episode from episode 4 onwards, but the entire crew gets dedicated time, and it really rounds it all up. It's a nice show. It's on a higher list of shows I might have binge watched if that were a thing I could do realistically, which I can't.
But you can't because your brain is running away from you.
Yeah, I rarely get that urge, but this one I would have loved to do it. I mean, my brain gets bored too easily. It needs to be challenged. Multiple things at once. There's only so many things you can do that won't distract you entirely from a show, though, that you're supposed to watch and listen to. So I did not watch Our Flag Means Death in one go, nor did I sit down to just watch it while doing nothing else, because that's impossible, but it was close. It was close. Season 1 had really great pacing that helped a lot. A bit fast, probably intentionally so, but still great. Great storytelling, great characters, great cinematography, and just overall really, really good show. Do you agree, Cecilia?
Of course I agree.
Good. Part of why it is so good is Izzy. Because
Izzy.
I mean, I do not understand Izzy. Somehow this person is incomprehensible to me. But he is a perfect narrative device. And a complex character. He is fueled by hate and cruelty. He stands in the way of Steed and Ed, who are such a contrasting pair already. He hates Steed for who he is and what his presence does to Blackbeard. He hates the crew for how utterly themselves they are, which is awesome, by the way. Unashamed, unafraid. He hates a lot of things, and note how none of this hate has to do with the other characters being queer.
It's, Izzy has his own image of Blackbeard, and with Steed around, it's crumbling. It's crumbling hard. He needs stability, continuity, and he relies on Blackbeard for that. I know Blackbeard seems to have gone crazy. All because of a man that Izzy can't understand and could never get along with.
Jokes on him, because they do get along in season 2. I like that.
Eventually.
I love that. It was It was a very nice progress of the relationship. Just, yeah.
Yes.
Izzy and his role and relationships within the context of the show. Nicely done. Good character development.
Character development.
Yes. He reminds me of a jilted wife. Sorry, husband, spouse, whatever. Jilted spouse.
I mean, that's what he is, isn't it? Isn't he?
Yeah. He's watching his husband chase after another man, an utter moron of a man who doesn't have the first clue about piracy. The very same thing Izzy and his Blackbeard had always thrived in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, paying close attention to him on the second watch, I can see the hints of what might or might not be love of some kind for Blackbeard, and I didn't know this is the first time around, and yes, I know there's literally a love confession. I know that, okay? I mean, it's still unclear what kind of love it is, romantic or otherwise. It's somewhere in season 2. And forgive me for not comprehending basic human emotions, okay?
Human emotions.
But on the second watch through, I realized, and viewed through that lens, and based on what I have learned about confusing human emotions, a lot of his actions suddenly do make more sense to me. And according to the internet, I apparently missed the very obvious jilted spouse part of a love triangle thing.
Yes, that was a very obvious part.
So apparently it was obvious all along that it was a love triangle, and Izzy was the jilted spouse, and I didn't.
We found something that was obvious to me for once and wasn't obvious to you.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize.
When will we have that again? In 5 years?
Is that? I hear some weird beeping sound.
I don't.
Is that just me? Wait, one moment.
I
hope that's just tinnitus or something. It sounds. Sorry.
I don't hear anything. I don't know what you're hearing. Toffee, are you hearing anything?
Where is Toffee? Toffee's at my feet. Toffee's fine. I've got a feet warmer.
That's good. Heat warmer is nice. Temperatures are getting colder.
No, it's just because
I don't wear my summer outfit.
It reminds me a bit of an alarm or something. No, it's gone. Okay, good. We're good. We're good.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. No, I missed that completely. And I only slowly started to realize it on my second. Then I made the notes and looked stuff up on the internet. It was apparently very obvious, and I was like, oh. Oh. Okay.
Oh, indeed.
Okay.
Okay. Move on.
Yeah, so even with a love confession, it's like, whoops. Yeah, anyway, either way, Izzy is still confusing to me. But I mentioned this. His arc in season 2 is one of the more fascinating ones. It's really well written.
Yes.
And it's one that barely has any humor in it in a comedy show. We're still a RomCom, technically, kind of, more or less. However, his death leaves a bit of a bitter note when you look back on what his arc was actually about.
Yeah, that is true.
They couldn't have killed a different character instead, rather than the literal suicide survivor. And why was he burned on land? On land!
Yeah, I don't get that either.
On land!
He's a pirate. Bury him at sea.
Ship people, whatever you call them. They don't. No, you don't burn them on land. You don't do that. I'm mad about that. Come on, guys. That's such an important detail not to fuck up.
Yes.
What the heck? What the heck, guys? Don't do that. Kill off anyone. Kill off someone else. You have enough characters to kill off. Honestly. So, season 2?
Yes, season 2.
Season 2 had post-credit scenes. That's literally my first. That was my first thought when I watched season 2. It's like, it has post-credit scenes.
So you didn't have any thoughts during the first episode?
I just had post-credit scenes. You know, my show notes were like a few hundred words. I cut all of them except for the post-credit scene note.
Hey. I mean, yes, they're just show notes, so of course you would cut them.
Anyway, I did love the Chinese pirate queen, whose name I don't want to mispronounce, but season 2, not as great as season 1, sadly. Yep. I think it was mainly the pacing. Something about it didn't feel right. It was all over the place. And I did notice all the parallels they drew to season 1, and perhaps that's what threw it off. That they focused too much on the callbacks to season 1, and that the already fast-paced narrative picked up even more speed. Which is probably the fault of whoever gave them only 8 episodes instead of 10. Don't do that. So looking purely at the narrative, Steed and Ed reuniting, navigating the emotional conflicts their separation left them with, as well as where they currently stand in real relations to life, goals, and piracy and all that. Lovely. Relationships of any nature are never simple, and I love that. Even in a rom-com, it's like, that was well done. Pirate Queen was such a cool addition, no matter how historically inaccurate. And she's also a complex, fleshed-out character like everyone else. Good. Unfortunately, our crew from season 1 takes more of a backseat due to the super fast pacing paired with new characters. So we have barely any time for them, which is sad.
Yeah, that is sad. I found season 2 a bit boring, to be honest. I also prefer the first one. It was like I was missing something to look forward to. Last season, we had the development of the relationship between Steed and Ed, the past that we slowly learned about. It felt like a continuous flow of the story. This season felt a bit more episodic to me. We get characters that are there for like an episode and then either gone or not mentioned for like 4 episodes.
Yeah, sometimes characters just are missing for no reason.
Yes,
they should realistically be there, but they're just not there.
And that just threw me off, that I didn't have a reason why these characters are not there anymore. Last season, season 1, we had a few opposing parties as well, I believe. But they were constantly there. And it didn't feel as all over the place as season 2 did. I would have appreciated to see the Pirate Queen and her plans for revenge on a more regular basis, for example. We were introduced to her and then she's gone for a long time and then she just comes back later. But it felt like they forgot about her and then remembered that she was there when they were just looking for an antagonist.
Yep.
So,
It feels a bit like she would have gotten more time in season 3 to develop, but there is no season 3. Yeah. Season 2 in general is more dramatic, more tragic, less funny. Also more focused on the main pair, less on the side characters, side adventures. We did already see Ed's severe mood swings in season 1. Season 2 took that and ran with it.
Yes.
I mean, they had barely reached the inner committed relationship of romantic nature stage and then already landed themselves on the messy breakout part at the end of season 1. But only from Ed's perspective.
Yes.
And now season 2 has to deal with that, which... good concept in theory. And well executed mostly, but not entirely.
Yeah, some things they could have done better. But what is perfect in life, you know?
Yeah. Also, okay, I do have some show notes, which is last episode of season 2. The overall finale with season 3 out of the picture, right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Cat. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Cat. Cat. Shoot.
Your feet warmer?
Yeah, I just wanted to stretch my leg because my knee is starting to hurt, but there's a cat right there.
Do not kick the cat.
I'm sorry, darling. No, she's just licking my foot now. It's fine.
Aw. She's forgiving you.
Anyway, usually she's in your room when we record.
Well, not today. Today she decided, I want to be in your room.
Back to last episode of season 2. The last scenes felt out of order. Part of that is the cinematography, the way they shot the scenes. And it gives me reason to believe that maybe they had to reorder that because no season 3 or something, that it wasn't originally planned that way. We're in front of the shack that's supposed to be an inn talking about revenge. And then we're on the ship for Lucius and Pete's wedding. And then Steed and Ed are back at the shack watching the ship leave. And it feels out of order, mostly because of the way they shot it. You could have put that in the same order with a different perspectives, maybe camera angles. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. I'm not a cinematographer or whatever you call that. Film
Me
person.
neither.
But both times I watched it, I was like, it shouldn't be confusing, but it confuses me in a way, as if it wasn't meant to be that way originally.
Neitshayd is confused.
Happens. Also, what happened to Steed's fear of murder?
Yes. For all that, killing was so much of a no-no at the beginning and a source of trauma. Now they're doing that a lot.
Yeah, and it still fit the overall atmosphere. because they played it for laughs, but it doesn't fit what they introduced the characters as, or at least not Steed.
Yeah, it doesn't fit Steed at all.
So, one last topic for today.
Oh, the cat on the flag?
No, that comes last. After the last topic. The elephant in the room. Diversity. Because we never get around. We never leave that out. But I was like, for once I wanted to put it at the very end. Because usually I put it at the beginning.
Yeah. So, okay, second to last topic. Because the cat gets the last topic, obviously.
Yes, who's a good Toffee? Who's a good Toffee? Who's a good Toffee? You a good Toffee? No. Please don't lick my foot. Thank you.
Please continue, Toffee. Please continue.
Well, no, because the stage after that is biting.
Oh, yeah, then please don't continue. Anyways, diversity. Almost no one is straight in this gay pirate rom-com.
True that. I mean, central theme of the show is freedom. Because pirates.
Yes.
That's what pirates were all about.
Be free, be yourself.
I mean, real pirates, not as nicely idealistic as our Fleetman Steph would like you to believe, but freedom. Us against the government. Fuck the government. Screw them.
Middle finger to the government.
Yeah. So, like I said before, lack of verifiable trustworthy sources is a problem, but pirates don't really care about sexual orientation nonsense all that much, which good for them.
Good for them.
They even had their own sort of gay marriage, which gay marriage at the time was not a thing in the countries they traversed. Don't know about other cultures, but Caribbean, nope. England, Spain, nope, not a thing. But the pirates had that. It's a bit complicated, actually, because it's not actually really about love. It was more about how do I describe this? Convenience for like sharing loot and commanding ships and others, not legal purposes because pirates, but it was for practical purposes in a way. But it could have also totally been because of love, you know.
Yeah, who knows?
Some people may have even turned to piracy for that very purpose. Who knows? Not that the life of a pirate was not a nice one, but they had gay marriages.
I didn't actually know that.
And yeah,
more stuff you are teaching me in this episode.
It did serve multiple purposes, was necessarily gay, but could have very well been totally gay, because pirates. So, back to the show. In the show, no one needs boxes and labels. Everyone just does what they want and loves, and everyone does what they want to do. Everyone loves who they want to love. No one is ever bothered by it all. It's awesome. No explanations ever needed. No eyebrows ever raised. Jim is such a lovely example of this, being accepted as their non-binary self without a fuss. Gender roles fly straight out the window in this show. Love is as free as it can be among pirates with a hefty amount of childhood trauma.
So much childhood trauma.
Yes. Cecilia, can you believe that Our Flag Means Death received negative criticism for its portrayal of LGBT plus characters?
What? Why? I suppose some people always find fault with everything. I don't see any problems here.
It's supposedly too idealistic, among other things. I'll mention some points later, no worries. You can throw up your hands in despair when I get to them.
It's fiction, it's not reality. It doesn't need to confine and be completely accurate. It's a gay pirate rom-com.
So, in Our Flag Means Death, the characters matter. They are not queer just because, and it's not their entire personality either. They are fleshed out, flawed, and they have interesting backstories and their own little side adventures within the overall narrative. It's awesome.
Yes,
Steed's crew as a ragtag group of misfits is awesome, and it's incredibly well written. I keep repeating myself.
I mean, you repeat yourself for a reason. Steed himself isn't even good at being a pirate, and his entire crew knows it. So I was a bit wondering, how did he even get his crew to follow him in the first place?
I mean, historically, he hired them and paid them wages.
I mean, that is very nice. It's like, it's freedom. He just wants them to be free. It's like, yeah, I'm going to pay you. And with that pay, you can do whatever you want. I give you freedom.
Yes. So who do we have in his ragtag group of misfits? We got, among others, someone with a lisp. which is rare in shows.
Mm-hmm.
We got a non-binary pirate. Love Jim. Too reckless and hot-headed for their own good, but non-binary pirate. Mm-hmm. We got a seagull. Seagull.
Best. Yes.
All the gays.
All the gays.
And as someone who has no grounds to talk on based on the simple fact that I'm not human, I'd say they handle the people of color in a people of color unfriendly setting pretty well. A little bit more on that later. But they're family.
Yes.
The entire ragtag group, they're family.
Yes, they're family. And I will quote Izzy here. It's not about glory. It's not about getting what you want. It's about belonging to something when the world has told you you are nothing. It's about finding the family to kill for when yours are long dead. It's about letting go of ego for something larger. The crew.
Good quote.
That was a very good quote. I really liked it.
I had written down, find Izzy's quote, and I looked at your notes and I was like, hey, I found it!
Yes, you found it in my notes.
Very nicely done. Okay, yeah. Jim, need I say more?
No, you do not.
The reveal, the way they had the rest of the crew react to it is well done. And the actor is non-binary. And their new haircut in season 2 is awesome. Lucius, also lovely example of someone who is unapologetically themselves, at least in season 1. Season 2 is a bit more complicated. No matter what Izzy says about it, let the man draw naked people.
Let the man do what he does best. And if it's drawing naked people, let him do that. We are pirates. We are free.
Yeah. Although it is interesting how little all the queerness is questioned and addressed. Sure, we mostly see it in the context of the crew and rarely outside. But they did address their people of color status in several scenes throughout season 1. Not as much season 2, but season 1 had several parts where it was addressed and implemented, included, you know? But queerness, not really. So, one of the complaints I've seen online was about the on-screen portrayal of shy kisses and never explicitly shown sex scenes when the violence and gore is so vividly shown, and I'm happy they did it that way.
Yes, me too. I'm also happy they did it that way.
I don't know if it's the ace side of me or the non-human side, both. I mean, they're intrinsically linked, kind of. The dead side of me.
The dead side of you.
The
undead demon.
Look, even if I weren't dead, I would still be ace. That doesn't change. It's just more now, because now I'm dead, there's no way around it anymore. Anyway, but French kissing and heated scenes in general between real people makes me really uncomfortable. Animated shows are fine. Give me that hentai. But real people weird me out. They weird me out.
They're icky.
So I, for one, was glad they gave the gore more screen time than any physical romance gestures.
Same.
Also, romance doesn't need to be physical, says the aromantic touch-averse demon. But, you know, I consume a lot of romantic media. If you manage to package it all in the body language and looks and subtle dialogue and then add the real confirmation if you need it, because humans so desperately want it, in form of a few kisses here and there and some heavily implied off-screen sex, well, I'm happy. I don't need more than that, nor do I want more than that.
Except for the last part, like the implied sex scene, my brain went, good omens, good omens, good omens, good omens.
There's a reason I love that show. Harry Pratchett is awesome. Yes, I know he was dead before the show was created, but hey, he wrote large parts of the original book. Harry Pratchett is awesome.
Yes.
We don't talk about the other one anymore.
And you know, Steed and Ed, they make each other happy. That's all we need. And their first kiss was awkward, but it was sweet. And shy, awkward kisses fit them so much better than anything more explicit. You know? So, for these two, it fits. It would have been not fitting had they included anything more specific. So, gore.
Gore. Violence. Violence. Yes. Okay. In the same way, there have been complaints about the story being an idealized setting because no one cares about any of the queerness, which it's a rom-com.
It's a gay pirate rom-com.
Genre.
Who cares?
Genre. If you want an exploration of the hardships LGBT plus people face, or can face, depending on what kind of privilege you're born into, then there's not nearly enough out there, but they do exist, and they are, to my knowledge, of different genres. Of Black means Death had different goals they pursued. It's
a gay pirate RomCom.
Yeah, humans always make things so complicated. I don't get it.
Humans.
I don't get it. It's like America banning gay marriages in some states, and I'm staring and I'm like, why? And I'm like, what is the problem? I do not understand what the problem is that people have. Same for other stuff. America does a lot of shit. I mean, America's the only country that does a lot of shit, but we're always surrounded by American news, or US American news for some reason. I'm always like, what is going on over there? What are you people doing? What are you doing?
Clue.
Let people be themselves.
Don't want to know.
Let people be themselves.
Land of freedom. Yeah, you're not allowed to be yourself, no.
Back to the show. We also have polyamory flavored relationships. Not as explicit, not as directly shown, but I picked up on that. Not Izzy, but that I picked up on.
Well, you can't pick up on everything.
Yeah, there can be glimpsed here and there. It's not as present in season 2 anymore, but there can be glimpsed here and there. That's great. That's great. I know polyamory is not for everyone. Although polyamory is not polygamy. That's something else. Just saying. But it needs more recognition, and more. Anyway, yeah. Another plus point. Steed's wife is a fleshed out character that isn't pushed into an antagonistic role at all, even though it may seem like that initially. I like Mary. She's cool.
Yes, she's very cool.
Even Mary is fleshed out. Plus point for the show.
Yes.
And season 1 more than season 2, but in both, the side characters really shine.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, season 2 had the Chinese pirate queen.
Chinese pirate queen. Let's go.
Okay, is it the last point of the last second? Whatever.
Okay.
I am not qualified to talk about the people of color all that much, but I personally thought that season 1 had some good ideas about the whole issue. The pirates don't care. Jackie is a woman in power. I can't pronounce his name. I forgot. Oluwande? What? Sorry. Names do be hard.
Names.
Is respected by the crew, as are the others. Oluwande is just a good character. He's such a great character in general for a multitude of reasons. He's awesome.
He almost became captain, or the new captain of the crew. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's cat. Sorry.
Not bite. You may lick a little bit, but not bite.
Maybe I should have worn some stockings after all. Oh well.
Some socks.
So the people who do care in the show, for negative reasons always, are people from social circles that are already portrayed as antagonists, the Navy and the aristocrats, right?
Yes.
The episode with the tropical island native tribe was quite interesting. And, I mean, also, Chinese pirate queen is literally Chinese.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
and not
Chinese
to forget one of our main leads, Blackbeard, because Blackbeard's actor is most certainly not white.
Oh, no, most certainly not.
It's not all of it realistic, but, well, fantasy gay pirate RomCom,
Precisely. Fantasy gay pirate RomCom. So, overall, I have to agree. I already addressed the issue, right in the second episode of season 1. The whole light-skinned people wiped out 8 tribes situation. It's just a fact. An accepted fact. People are aware of it, and that's just how it is. It doesn't feel out of place. It's there, not shied away from, but also not too on the nose. Made it good.
Yeah, we got the scene when the Navy first boards the ship, and the pirate crew's people of color have to act as servants, cook and stuff. And it's that's not what the ship is like, but they have to pretend. And then also the pyramid scene of the pyramids. The Prince of Egypt and how the staff of the household helped.
The pyramid scheme.
Oh, cat, excuse me. Sorry.
I could hear some of that.
Next time you're getting the cat again.
Yes.
She's causing me all sorts of trouble today.
Aye.
Good Toffee darling.
Toffee,
Best
no.
Toffee darling.
Oh,
Yes, you're a
Toffee,
good
no.
kitty.
Ew. Oh, ew.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, it was a good scene. And also it's like all the information that Steed had to like passive aggressively attack the aristocrats he got from the servants, right?
Yes.
It's like I said, I'm not a human from the human world. I'm not facing these issues, but I thought the show might handle that well, in my opinion. Others who are more qualified may have different opinions, maybe. If so, tell us. Tell us.
I mean, I'm also not qualified, so
Cat! Ouch!
Yeah.
Sheesh!
Well, if the cat is making you so much hurt, she wants to tell us something. Toffee would like to tell us something because
The
there's
flag
one
you
thing
included.
left.
You gave me a direct
Yes.
screenshot just so I would include it.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
this
I
is
did.
this is a white furred version of Toffee.
Yes, precisely. That was exactly my thought when I saw the
Sheesh.
flag.
Sheesh.
And it was like, because look at this. Blood dripping off its claws, very sharp teeth, bloodthirsty red eyes. It just reminded me a bit of Toffee in one of her crazy moods, and apparently she is in a crazy mood right now.
Yes. Ow. Ow, cat.
I think Toffee likes the flag.
Honestly, crazy cat.
Ah,
All right, before
well.
she decides to vandalize everything, you can find us on X, Twitter, Spotify, and YouTube at teaandtoffees. I play games live on Saturdays with Cecilia, joining via chat or on Twitch at neitshayd. I also occasionally post random art on Instagram at neitshayd.
And sometimes you also stream on Sundays, and not only Saturdays, but
yeah, that's
only
true.
Sometimes.
That's true. Most of the time, actually, but yeah, I forgot. I do that.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this episode, then leave us a comment. Who's your favorite character? Because mine is Izzy.
Izzy?
Yes, Izzy.
I mean, he's a good
Izzy
narrative
Hands.
device. I can't comprehend him. Mine is Zheng Yi Sao. I tried it. Chinese Pirate Queen. Yeah.
I mean, at first Izzy wasn't my favorite, but he grew on me, and when I rewatched the show to make notes, I was like, yes.
He grew on you like mold.
Yes. I mean, when I first watched the show, it might have also gone through the Chinese Pirate Queen, but Izzy grew on me like mold.
Maybe if I realized the children's spouse thing earlier.
Maybe.
If only. Oh well.
If only.
Either way, until next time. Bye.
Bye.